So today is Thursday, and it's an important day here at Curated. We are under the gun. It is Amelia Island Concours preparation here. And I wanted to give you guys a little snapshot behind the scenes. We have some incredible cars in the showroom. One of them we are bringing to Amelia Island. We're not going to be showing it specifically in the concours, but it'll be around. We'll be showing it to clients, and we'll maybe do a few very, very cool videos behind the wheel, and definitely we have to tell the story of this car at some point. This is not just any Ferrari F40, but this is actually, and if you follow our Instagram, you've seen some teasers at We Are Curated. This is the famous Nigel Mansell Ferrari F40. And if you haven't noticed already, this is a very unique car because it's one of the early production cars. Now, if you ask historians like Marcel Massini or even Ferrari, they'll say about 50 to 60 early production cars were produced. And the early production cars, they didn't have adjustable suspension, they had no catalyst, and they actually had Lexan windows, no door panels, a sliding window. So they were essentially a lighter version of the F40. Very rare. There's a bunch of other little nuances and features that we'll talk about on our next video, maybe next week, and we'll do an in-depth look at this car. But what makes this car even more special is the fact that right before Enzo Ferrari passed, essentially the F40 was the swan song of what he was developing at the time, and the last car that he signed off on, Enzo Ferrari hired one last Formula One driver. That driver was Nigel Mansell. And Nigel Mansell, in many ways is one of the greatest drivers of our time. F1 world champion, champion IndyCar driver. The list goes on and on and on. And the interesting story about this car is it actually was delivered 3 days before the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, the Brazilian Grand Prix, where Nigel Mansell actually won the race. It was his first time driving behind the wheel of the Ferrari Formula One car, and he won the race, and he actually won it in the first, you could call it F1 gearbox, so the first paddle-shifted Formula One car. So incredible history, incredible story. It is an incredible story of how we found the car, etc. So we will feature that very soon, and then we'll show you some scenes and shots behind the scenes of basically our final days of prep on the Monaco Countach and the Ferrari F50-001. Now, you guys saw last week the whole story of Ferrari F50-001 restoration. We've got a few tweaks and details, but we're really working hard on finishing the 1981 Lamborghini Countach LP400S. This was the first or second Series 3 car produced, which was essentially the first two cars produced for the new owners of Lamborghini. The Mimran brothers in 1981 purchased Lamborghini, and it was Patrick Mimran and Jean-Claude Mimran. And the white car that you will see is the actual car of Mr. Jean-Claude Mimran. Very interesting car. It has some unique interior features. And essentially, the two brothers' cars were used as the Monaco pace cars, so the intervention cars for the Monaco Grand Prix in 1981 and the Monaco Grand Prix in 1982. Now, what we decided to do, and I think I've told this story before, we got a cold call, we discovered the car, original paint, original interior, but the car had been sitting for years. So we wanted to go through all the details. We spent almost a year rebuilding the engine, all gaskets, seals, bushings, brakes, and we have taken apart the car in so many different ways and redone things so many different times because I wasn't happy with all of the details. Little things like the calipers. Probably redid them 2 or 3 times because they didn't have the correct finish on them. We had to use a few different suppliers, and we finally find the right, I would call it the perfect zinc coloring between silver and gold zinc for the calipers. Different things like the graphics. We had replaced the graphics now 2 or 3 times. They've come off, we've had them remade, and we finally had a really, really great set of graphics made that are duplicated of the 1981 Grand Prix, and also more importantly, the style of the graphics. So original graphics are not the same as vinyl as you would see today. So we had that duplicated perfectly. The other thing that we spent a lot of time on, and we've actually gone back and forth, we finally found the original bracket for the original light bar. So when we first got the car, we were lucky enough to find one of the original period correct police light bar that would have been used in 81 and 82 in Europe. So we found that, but we never found the correct brackets. So we just found that. We're doing the final touches on that. It is dead on, it is perfect. I'm happy finally. And then a bunch of other details around the car. The interior was absolutely perfect, but the headliner was sagging a little bit. So we found a perfect material. Our friend Kenneth Michaels did an incredible job. He came down yesterday, finished the installation on the headliner, and then all the other details from stickers on the wheels, a few little touch-ups, but this is a true survivor preservation car that essentially we've gone through. Very, very excited to be showing that. This is not just any car show, but the Amelia Island Concours, this is the first year, the inaugural year of the supercar class. So it's very, very important for us. It's an honor to have these cars invited, for us to be preparing the cars. We're in a class of a McLaren F1. I mean, some really, really incredible cars, and we're very, very excited. Now, if you don't remember, last year we actually brought two cars to Amelia Island. We showed them my SE30 Yoda and the company's Bugatti EB110. But that was just a small event they did basically next to Amelia Island. It was part of the event, but it wasn't as part of the major concourse. So it's a huge, huge honor. I promise you we'll have some incredible videos in the coming weeks, more behind the scenes, our journey to Amelia, showing these cars, and definitely some behind the wheel of the Mansell Ferrari F40. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have some incredible content coming this weekend.